Because I really would hate to do the whole episode, get through it, and then realize we weren't recording.
Okay. So you're recording now?
Yeah.
I set out a goal 2 years when I came back to bring a championship to the city. I gave everything that I had. I poured my heart, my blood, my sweat, my tears to this game, and Cleveland, this is for you. Oh!
Yeah, put some respect on a name, LeBron James, out here leading everyone and everything.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Ohio's Praise. It'll be a rather quick update episode as we've got a larger, more exciting episode planned next week. So we'll open it off with the Indians. Chris?
Last night the Indians beat the White Sox 5-3, and it marked their 12th win in a win streak. 12th? Their 12-game winning streak.
12-game winning streak, longest in the MLB.
They are first in the division by 10 games and have the fourth best record in the all of MLB, which is very exciting. Mike, what do you got for us?
Well, with a record of 81-54, the Tribe are led recently by Trevor Bauer, who leads all American League pitchers with the most wins. It looks like the Tribe's the team to watch this coming October in the playoffs. I really think they have what it takes, Chris. They're showing that they can handle it. Next, we'll talk a little bit about the Browns. This past weekend, the Browns made their final cuts down to the final 53, or I should say the first rendition of their 53-man roster, with some notable cuts coming from Joe Hayden, Brock Osweiler, and John Greco. Joe Hayden and John Greco being long-term starters for the team for many years, while Brock Osweiler, as many of you know, is going to cost the Browns $16 million in their upcoming salary cycle. So it'll be interesting to see what this really almost completely new look Browns will look like this coming season. Very young, very led by many new faces.
The Browns finished the preseason beating the Bears 25-0 and went 4-0 in preseason, so it's pretty exciting. Very promising, precedent for us, hopefully.
Yeah.
And they opened their season Sunday against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Sean Kaiser will get the start, and Joe Pepperidge is also starting.
Yeah, that was interesting to see because, well, I guess there was an injury, but to be the next man up and to look like he's ready in the past preseason games is very exciting.
Yeah.
Now for the big news is more of a big news for next week. As I'm sure many of you know, College Game Day, like the ESPN television show, will be coming to Columbus in preparation for the Ohio State-Oklahoma game.
Get excited.
Yeah, I mean, we're clearly very excited because obviously we like sports, so this is something that we're very into. I know we had a brief, there were little clips from last season when they came for Ohio State and Michigan. So our hope is that we can get more, seeing as it's a night game, we want to have clips throughout the day of updates from people, friends, family, people who are giving their own opinions, and we'll show clips of what our experience at College Game Day will be like.
So the Buckeyes played Indiana last Saturday in where is it called?
Bloomingfield.
Okay.
Bloomfield.
And they won 49-21. Notably, Ohio State did not look completely back. They definitely did not dominate the game by any means, except maybe the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
J.C. Barrett and the wide receivers still looked like they weren't on the same page. Definitely something to notice, or something to look forward to next game. And I think the biggest story coming out of it is true freshman running back J.K. Dobbins got the start. Mike Weber had a hamstring injury, was not feeling 100%. So Urban Meyer started the true freshman, and he put on a performance. Probably one of the best since Maurice Claret.
Actually better in terms of yards than Maurice Claret, since I think he outran him by 5 or 6 yards, maybe 10 yards.
Yeah. So I would definitely say that the running game looks very strong for Ohio State. I would also say that the secondary looked like it was struggling because They had like 300 some yards and passing.
To be fair, Indiana did throw the ball.
Yeah. 40 times. I think it's 42 of 61 or something in passing.
That's crazy.
And they only had 17 yards on the ground, which really says something about the defensive line. They've said that it's the most talented defensive line in a very long time.
My takeaways from that particular game are definitely the Buckeyes didn't look 100% in the first half. They weren't quite firing on all cylinders. The second half was a different story, but personally I feel like that was more carried over when the passing game suddenly started to work. And based off the stats, with JT Barrett's 304 yards of passing that he had, that in itself sounds great. 220 of those yards came after the catch. So it's really the receivers kind of put it on their shoulders and got the passing game going by taking it on themselves to do something with the ball in their hands. And that's guys like Paris Campbell, and I feel like I should be able to name more than one wide receiver, but Paris Campbell was definitely the guy that pass game in terms of the receiving game. What do you have to say about this upcoming matchup? We're playing
Oklahoma. Last year we went to their place, and now they're coming to ours, and it was a good game. We definitely dominated later in the game. I know I've been seeing a bunch of posts and stories about Baker Mayfield saying how basically we walked in there and kicked their butts, and they weren't happy about it. So Oklahoma, definitely not a team to sleep on. It's not going to be a cakewalk. Oklahoma is ranked 7th best in the nation right now, which is very, very, very scary for us.
I mean, it'll be a great game. It'll be a good game for the Buckeyes to give themselves a chance to prove themselves. Indiana's passing attack gave us some headaches, and they're by no means a passing team, whereas Oklahoma has Baker Mayfield and typically some very talented wide receivers, such as D.D. Westbrook last year. We'll see who they have for us this year. It'll be a good test for our rather young secondary to see if they can bounce back from a rough beginning last week.
Hopefully this game will be a defining moment in our record for the future, for our playoff application attempt.
Playoff resume.
That's the word. Yeah.
That's a good word.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in for this Ohio's Praise update. See you next week.
2 takes.
Greatest of his time, there can only be one. Y'all better believe that it's LeBron. Let's go.